guys, it's your boy LOGinHDi and welcome back to another video. Now my recent music video fun day has came out and it features an original song that I made myself. It's my very first original song that I've put out, so I was like super scared about how it would go, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. I had a lot of fun making this song and hopefully you guys have a lot of fun listening to it and you have a fun day and yeah. But I thought, hey, let's go into the actual project and break down kind of like the behind the scenes of the music and how I kind of made it. And I always love seeing these sort of videos on YouTube how like people made their songs. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Let me know what you guys think. But this is the project right here. I'm using a program called FL Studio. And just to give you guys a little bit of a background on like my sort of musical sort of background, I've got no musical background. I didn't learn music in school. I don't know any like music theory really. So there's probably like a lot in this song that may not be like technically right, but I think it works and I think it sounds cool and I had a lot of fun making it. So yeah, and I've been like making a lot more songs as well and like they're getting better and better, and I'll probably like look back at this song in the future and be like, oh man, this was poop. But no, I'm very happy with how it is at the moment. So what I started off with was this chord progression right here that you hear at the start of the song, and pretty much through the majority of the song is this chord progression right here. It's quite simple. So that's all it is right there, and then this is kind of used throughout most of the song, and then kind of like a version of this in the drop as well. So once I had this chord progression, I also had the bass line right here, and then I just took that to then a different sound and just chucked it in, and then you get the sound. So yeah, you get the bass right there, and then I just chucked in a few drum sounds, like we've got a kick right there, and then we've got a couple of these claps, and then that is pretty much the core of the beat there, just the chords, the bass, and then those few simple drums, as well as like quite a few effects here. But then yeah, I had this kind of beat right here, and once I had this beat, I was kind of able to take this and then like create the rest of the song just from that. So in this intro part, there's a bunch of effects, like there's a simple crash, there's like a white noise, there's also these little sort of ambient sounds down here, like this one. It's kind of like a jungle, and you can't really hear it, but it kind of just like sets a bit of a vibe in the song. So there's that, there's that, oh yeah, so yeah, I had quite a few like animal sort of sounds in it, as well as at the start I've got this sound, which I'm pretty sure this sound was, I think, an elephant sound that I then like added like a delay to it and a reverb, and then just kind of like rendered it out and I did stuff to it. And that sound there is used quite a bit through the song as kind of like a transitional sort of sound effect. So it's used there, it's used in the drop as well to add like a bit of noise. And then also down here at the start, you can't really hear this in the song, but it's just all these like random little sort of like blips and bloops, like that little thing, those little things, and they're just kind of like at the start there, just to, I don't know, add a bit of just random stuff. So after this, it goes into kind of like the build zone. So what happens here is I introduce the melody, which is this right here. Which is the melody from the drop as well, and it uses quite a few of the sounds that are in the drop, or two of the sounds that are in the drop, and the core sound, which is not this one, it is this one, yeah. So this sound right here, it's kind of like a synthesized trumpet sort of sound, I think. And then I kind of just like, what I did, actually yeah, pretty much exactly what I did here is once I had this loop, I just like got it, I looped it, and then what I like to do is just kind of like just have like a bit of a jam session and just like make different melodies. And this is something that I did a lot, sort of like trying to learn how to make music. Like I've made probably 100 projects before this song here, and a lot of them had just like only drop sections in them, so I felt like I got pretty good at making like melodies, and I had a lot of fun making the melodies. So pretty much what I do is I loop this and I kind of just like create different melodies, and I'll try and give this a go. Actually, wait, that melody there is pretty similar to the vocal melody that goes on. So pretty much that's what I did. I think the actual melody that I did was something like oh, no, I completely messed that up, but like that's pretty much the way that I did it. And then yeah, those are the notes right there, and so there's that sort of trumpet sound right here, and then I also layer that with like a kind of lower sound right there, which is like kind of like a mallet sound. I don't know what it is, but it's like a sound that does stuff, and it like a bit of a lower sound to it. Together they sound like this, and it kind of creates a fuller sound, but it's not as full as when the drop comes in, because the drop has a couple extra layers, which we'll get to. But so pretty much the build up, pretty simple. It's just like bit of effects, bit of there's a clap right here. This just goes like this just to keep the beat, and then it kind of builds up, and I have quite a few different layers right here. Like there's a crash, white noise, and then there's like some white noise build up, and then the drums get a bit more fast paced with the claps, and then there's like this snare, and there's a kick as well for the build up, and that just kind of goes up and then goes to drop. And maybe the best part of the song, boom, right here before the drop, the little vocal sort of hit, it is the off right there. So we got the off, but not only do we have it off, but there's also, I layered it with this little sound effect right here, that little sort of like wood smack. I'm pretty sure actually this wood smack effect, I think I got it from a Banjo-Kazooie. I think what I did was like downloaded like the sound files from Banjo-Kazooie, which is a game that I like a lot, and I found it, and like I just kind of saved it, and then like when I was making this song I thought, hey, let's just chuck it in, and it sounded pretty cool. And if you layer them, it's like oof, but there's a bit more of a smack to it, because if you have only the oof, it's just kind of like oof, but if you have this wood smack, it's like oof. So there's a bit more kind of off to it, and then there's like this white noise a little bit right here, just like a little sort of sweep to then go into the drop, which is right here. So what happens is it's pretty much the same chord progression going from the start there with the same sound, but then you also have a different bass sound. This is the bass sound right here. It's a bit sort of like harder with a bit more energy to it. So that's kind of the bass sound right there. And then I also have this trumpet sound right here. So this trumpet sound, it kind of just like does the same chords as the other chord progression, but it's just like only on those beats right there. So I cut out some of the notes, and it just kind of adds a bit more kind of emphasis to these like sections of the song, like that part kind of just like keeps the beat kind of going, I guess. I don't know. So that's a bulk of the sound, and then we've got the drums right here, which is just a kick, a snare, hi-hat, and then this random percussion thing, and that kind of just does us a pretty simple beat, just a simple kick, and then the snare is kind of doing like this sort of thing, that sort of thing. And yeah, pretty simple there. So then the melody, the main lead sounds, what we've got here is we've got the same sound from before, from the verse. We got that sound as well as the trumpet sound, but then what's added on top is this sound right here, which is kind of adds a lot of the sort of like mid sort of upper tones to it. It kind of adds to like this sort of bright sort of thing, and it's kind of like a vocal kind of sound, so it adds kind of like the vocal to it. And then there's also this really weird layer right here, which you can't really hear, but it adds kind of like the slide to it. It's quite a high pitched sound, and what it does is it slides between the notes, and it kind of, you can't really hear it, but I just added it in just because, yeah. So yeah, that sounds kind of cool. And then that's all of the sounds right there. Now, actually, what I learned by making a lot of songs is that white noise and like high pitched kind of stuff adds a lot of energy to the song. And this right here is it's a shaker. It's just kind of like sitting, it's not too loud, just kind of sitting in there. But without this shaker, the whole song just sounds like dead, because like a lot of the higher sort of like frequency noises, it adds a lot of energy. So just without that, it just like sounds like pretty dead, although there's a lot of other effects here. Actually, oh, down here is that elephant. Yeah, so that was an elephant cry that's I used throughout the song quite a bit. So yeah, I add a few like animal noise, like the elephant cry, and then there's this hawk sort of sound again right there. And then that's pretty much like the drop right there, and then just goes into another verse, another build up, and then the drop again, which just goes twice. So then that's how I made the instrumental. I had it sitting there for a while, and I was super happy with it, but I needed a vocal on it, because without a vocal, it's just a beat, but I needed a vocal to make it into a song. So what I did is I actually also wrote the song myself. Now, this is the first original song that I have wrote myself. I've wrote a few parodies before, but writing an original is completely different, because when you write a parody, you have like sort of like a base already on like what you have, but write an original, you just have the whole world in front of you. It's kind of like a lot tougher to like get the right kind of ideas, but I'm actually super happy with how like the song sounds sounds and like this writing on it, I think it's actually pretty cool. And the way that I wrote the vocals is actually quite similar to how I wrote the melody. And I would just loop this part right here. And actually what I'd do is I'd stand back quite a bit and just kind of like not really think about anything. And just kind of like zone out. And then just like random kind of like, it would be like kind of like a melody would come to me. Exactly what I did before with when I was just messing around like making a random melody. That's pretty much what I'd do. And then what I would create is a vocal melody. And when I'm thinking of these melodies as well, like words start to come to my head, but I find that if I make the melody first, I kind of like hear the words within the melody and I get like a sound, and then I just like write the notes or like do the notes in, and then I'd like kind of think of the words. I'm pretty sure the first part that I thought of was actually this part here, like the main sort of chorus hook part of the song, It's Just Like Last Sunday, because that's pretty similar to actually the melody that I did before, but I just like get the sound right here and kind of just do the notes in like bam, 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 whatever it is, and I'd get the melody and I kind of like hear words, and then like yeah, so I'm pretty sure this was the first part, like it's just like last Sunday, you can't break my fun day, and I knew then I wanted that to be like the kind of the core of the song because I thought it was quite catchy. And yeah, so I had that part first, and I think what I did then was do this part here, the where are you when I need you most. I do that part there, and then I had that, and then I sat on it for a little bit, and then I eventually wrote the other verse before. So what I had was like the verse and then like the chorus, and I only had that part there, and then I left it for a few days. And I've found now if I do that, if I write part of the song and then come back in a few days, it's really hard to like pick it back up and then like get in the same zone and write it again. So I found actually writing the second verse a little bit trickier to do because I was kind of like out of that zone of making it. But I found like this part here actually came out really quickly. Like it probably came out in like maybe like 10, maybe like 30 minutes to write that part, which is kind of quick. I don't like the main idea like came actually pretty fast. And then this other, the second verse right here, this probably took a couple days to write because it was like my first original song. It's kind of slow, but then yeah, I'm happy with it now. So that's how I had it. And actually this is how I sent it to the vocalist. I'd send like this vocal melody on like the idea that I have as well as the lyrics, so the vocalist kind of knew what was up with the song. So then I found the vocalist, I found Zach, and then I sent him the instrumental, the vocal melody, and the lyrics, and he made the song. And these are all like the different layers right here with all different files, and it has like sort of like the lead vocal like this, and it's got different takes to it, it's got like harmonies. And this right here, this was the first time working with vocals like this. So I've learned a lot through working with this vocal. It's like a bit of a mess what I did, but then what happened? Terabyte, the saviors, came through pretty much like a month before the song came out. It helped a lot with like the processing of the vocals, and they mixed the song and they mastered the song, which makes it sound a lot like louder and a lot more clear. So a massive thank you to Terabyte because they're a lot smarter than me at music stuff. I'm still trying to like learn, and they've had a lot of experience doing their stuff. So if you haven't subscribed to Terabyte, subscribe to Terabyte. But before that, what I had was an absolute mess of me trying to figure out how to like work with vocals and make it work within the song. And these are all my little attempts right here with all these faded out parts, but then like this is what I had. So I had like the vocals and then like some reverb and stuff like that, and a couple extra like harmony layers and like some ad-lib stuff, and then some like stuff right here. So yeah, that's pretty much how we made the song. It's quite simple, but I found that actually the simple stuff is really tricky to make it work and make it sound good. So I learned a lot through the songs, and I've actually got more songs in the works coming out, and they're sounding super sick as well. I can't wait for you guys to hear the future songs. So hopefully you guys liked today's video, and if you haven't seen the music video yet, go check it out. Subscribe for some more videos coming soon, and I'll see you guys in my next video. See ya.